G'day, folks. My day's busy escaping on me. I keep meaning to do things and get distracted. I'm just turning around at the moment and dealing with things like trespass laws and got a bit of a speech on tonight, so I'm dealing with that sort of stuff. But I'm just kind of want to reinforce this whole point to me, which is about rights. And in my little thing, which is Show Us Your Badge, go onto my website, it's there. I deal with the point of the fact that, during the I think it was 88 homosexual reform bills, the Jan Logie, the Green Party, pointed out the fact that basically it was terrible what happened to the rainbow community because they had their inalienable rights taken away from them, body autonomy. I've gone to there and I show you a badge and I turn around and I quote the 7 myths of the United Nations they put out there about basically bodily autonomy, which they list as the essential to human rights. So again, what we're basically seeing is everything turned on its ass right now. They're literally trying to pretend that they're actually doing the right thing when constitutionally they know they're not doing the right thing. But the point I just want to make today is about this whole issue about it's making us a better people because it's making us aware of the fact that rights are for everybody. And that's no exception. If people right wing people say, oh no, those lefties can't have any rights. Well, you don't want to be with those people. And if you're with lefties who are saying right people can't have rights, well, you don't want to be with those people. It's we all swing together or we all hang together. So this is the kind of the weird thing about what's going through is that in some ways that is actually making us a better understanding, but potentially maybe more tolerant people. And it's also going to give us better lessons of civic rights. Now, one of the things I kind of just end with, which is I guess what I really wanted to point out in this video, is that I find it really interesting in the sense that I have two incidents. One recently was I dealt with one of the leaders of the freedom, not the freedom movement, but the Voices of Freedom movement, and she's a lovely conservative Indian person. But when you talk to her for after a while, you start to become clear that she doesn't really have Islam is not her favorite religion. As a byproduct of her background upbringing, I don't actually have a problem with that. I get that. There are things that she struggles with. She also has problems with the issue of transsexualism. Well, I do as well in the sense only because of the fact that we get into the whole boy-girl situation. I go, oh, no, biologically, come on, guys, this is a bridge too far. I don't really have a problem with what people's sexuality is, full stop. But the point is, I'm not even going to defend myself. The point is, if you open up my little head and look into my rooms, there are bits about me which are bigotry or probably would be marked need room for improvement. And when I was doing around, I was interviewing Muhammad Khan, who was the president of the mosque in Christchurch, was the victim of the Christchurch shooting. I really impressed by Muhammad Khan. He was a man of great honesty and great humbleness. And and I sort of put it to him. I wasn't going to pussyfoot around like John Campbell's going, oh, isn't it great? Oh, they're us. It's like, what do you mean they, John? It's we. They're not they. They're actually people of Christchurch who are my neighbours. And I've never had a problem with identifying the fact that I don't care about who the colour of your skin is or whatever the situation. If you live in the city, you're a fellow citizen. End of story. What's with this they shite? Anyway, so I sort of didn't go that direction. I said, look, we do have issues here though, don't we, Mohammed? Because while what's happened here is a victim of racism, and again, Japita, who's the Indian woman I'm going to be interviewed later on today, she's also got some pretty pretty not pleasant stories to actually have in terms of racism. But I said you've also got issues with both the rainbow community, and you've got issues with with issues of feminism. And Muhammad Khan, didn't piss around. He turned around and said, yes, we still have, there are still differences between our cultures, and we really aren't having that conversation, and there are areas of awkwardness, but we're starting to have them. And I think that's all we've got to do is acknowledge the fact that actually, that ability to sit down at the table, and as long as people start to talk and everyone gets to hold the tuk-tuk stick, and that's one thing that we all going to hear is that is the right that everybody. I went to a speech recently, and it was held on a General Democratic, which is you normally don't see happen in most rallies. Some political party or organisation comes along and hijacks it, and then they decide who speaks, and it just becomes a whole exercise. Basically, we end up becoming a surfboard for their agendas. Whereas so far the freedom protests I've been to so far, the ones, and I can only speak for the ones I've been to, they've been everybody gets to speak, and there are times when you cringe. And I was standing next to a guy that, turned out that he was, in a relationship with another guy. And this person starts talking about, trannies. And I'm going, oh, God, please let there not be any journalists walking around, because you can guarantee that that's what they're going to seize upon. But the person didn't turn around and go, right, oh my God, that's terrible. I'm not going to be part of this freedom movement. He understood that's democracy. It's messy, but it does rely on the fact of it relies on three things. You have these three things and you've got stable democracy. And I'll leave you with his thoughts. Number one, everybody gets a say. Number two, no, you don't censorship what people actually have to say. And number three, everyone realizes, as long as everyone realizes, one faction should say, number two, that everyone realizes that everybody gets a say. And it's the one thing that everybody agrees upon. You don't have to like a neighbour, you don't have to necessarily agree with their religion, but you all agree that when it comes down to making these communal decisions, that everybody gets a say. You're off to a good start. And then that third final aspect thing, also just can recognise it is my point of this entire video is today, is that everybody has rights. There is no ifs, buts, or exceptions. And this is, in some ways, I'm hoping at the end of this journey, which we've gone to, none of which none of us are actually wanting to do, but I think it's the people that actually are what I would call the backbone, the moral backbone. It's going to make New Zealand an even better country. And we've always been a nation that's punched above our weights, and we've always led on these issues. So hopefully this is actually just sort of tapping into that sleepy little hobbit bit, which we kind of tend to underestimate and we tend to forget about at times. And hopefully that's the good side of the Kiwi spirit coming out. And from what I've seen so far, it's been pretty clear to me from the groups, the freedom groups that I've been involved in anyway so far, that there's plenty of we in that iwi. So I'll leave you with that thought and have a great day.